Hi everyone. In last session we have understood the blob Azure blob thing. So today we will go through the code and see how it will work and how can we upload the content in blob using the C sharp. So here is the timer trigger. So what we are doing here is that we are triggering it every 5 seconds. Here we are maintaining the logs in the blob. Uh, so we are having message whenever the function started and whenever the function completed. So we are setting the date time here when it get executed, started and completed. Okay. So here is the method uh, which uploads the content to the blob to the BlockBlob. Okay. So what we are doing here is that we are getting the connection string. We are passing the connection string and getting the reference of the storage account. Once we get the storage account access, we are creating and getting the blob client reference. Once we get the blob client reference, we are getting the container reference. As we already talked about the blob, it has container, and in the container we have files. So once we are having access to blob client, we are getting the container reference and we are setting the name of the container here, and we get the container reference. If the container not found, then we are creating the container using the create if not exist async. And once we get the access to the container, we are getting the reference of the file uploaded in the container. So we are having the reference of it, and we are uploading the text or content to that blob. So I'm just putting all the details here, and I am having the separate method for the same. Okay, not it. So here I'm having the connection string. Currently I'm reading from the settings, which is here local.setting.json, and I'm getting the storage account access. From the storage account I am getting the blob client reference. To the blob client I am getting the reference of the container. If container is not present, then I am creating the container, and from the container I am getting the access to the BlockBlob, having the file name my BlockBlob, container name my container, and once I get the reference of BlockBlob, I am uploading it to I'm uploading the content to it. Okay, let's see how it will work. Let's start. Okay, so it has started. F11. Okay, created client reference, container reference got created container. Okay, let's see if there is any container created or not. Yeah, my container created, and there is no file. Okay, so my container created. Let's now create the and upload the content. So let's see. Yeah, my BlockBlob file created here, having the that. Yeah, the log has been maintained here. Function started at 16:30. Okay, let me execute the completed message also. So the purpose here to log all the maintain whenever the timer trigger gets executed. Okay, setting the content 16 17 37. Let's see, 16 17 37 message got uploaded or not. Close it, reopen it. Let's see. What I can see here is that it just say that the function completed, but we have also stored the message that time our function started. That log is overwritten because it is a BlockBlob. As I already said, that BlockBlob will be the file where we do not have the rights to append the data or modify the content. So whenever we are trying to upload the thing in the BlockBlob, it recreates or rewrite the whole content of the file with the current text, so that it has been done by BlockBlob. So instead of doing with the BlockBlob, we have to do with the AppendBlob, as AppendBlob is used to rewrite the content or modify the content or append the content there. BlockBlob is just for a single file, we cannot update or edit it. So let's maintain the logs with the AppendBlob. So what I will do is I will stop it, and instead of log to BlockBlob I will use the AppendBlob. So I have already written the code for that. So I will delete it with AppendBlob. So the most of the code is same. We are getting the connection string, we are getting the reference of storage account. From the storage account we are getting the reference of blob client. To the blob client we are getting the reference of the container. From the container, if it is not created, then we are creating the container with the name my container. In the container we are getting the reference of the file. If here we need to maintain the check that if file is not there, then we will create it. Okay, there is no direct function of only creation, so we have to use create or replace async, which will replace if it is already there. But here we have checked that if file doesn't exist, then only create it, so it will never replace the file. Okay, so the difference here is that here we have used cloud AppendBlob, in earlier we have used the cloud BlockBlob, and here we have used the method get AppendBlob reference. In the earlier we have used get BlockBlob reference. So in the earlier we don't need to check if it is created or not created, but in the AppendBlob we need to check and create the file if it is not there. So we have to create the file in the AppendBlob, but in the BlockBlob we don't have to create it. We can directly upload the content, and if it is not there, it will create it. Every time it will create a new file. So there is no need to check here. But in the AppendBlob we are rewriting to the same file, so we need to check if it is there. If it is not there, then create the file and append the text there. Okay, let's see with the AppendBlob. To AppendBlob. Okay, so let's run it. Before that I will delete the, okay, I think I have already deleted. Okay, so let's see. Yep. Okay, AppendBlob reference. Okay, the file is not there, so we are creating the file and uploading the content, that is 162248. Okay, let's check. Refresh. Container created. File also created. It is of AppendBlob type. Okay, the first message logged started at 16:21:48. Let's go for completed. File already there, so no need to create. Append the text 16:23:40. So let's recheck. We should have two messages started and completed. Okay, not that. Yeah, so we have started at and completed at, both the messages are there, so it's good. Now the append blob. So in the append blob we have logged the information successfully, but the blob is not the correct blob type to maintain the log. So for that we need to use the append blob. So here we have seen the difference between the blob and the append blob, and when to use which blob type we have seen through the code and through this video. So I think there is no question in understanding the difference between both of these and when to use which blob type. Okay, so for today that's it. If you have any questions or queries, you can comment. Thank you.